Aloha. Good evening. Hang on.
Good evening.
Okay, now. Um, I'm just playing around with this because I don't know. I haven't really worked with YouTube's system that much. But anyhow, aloha. Good evening. This is Andrew Aloha Live out of Flagstaff, Arizona, with Spiritual Women's Productions on Facebook, or I should say, YouTube Live. Um, um, I have a notion, excuse me, of doing this every week and doing some interviews out of this. But I just have to get a just get a hang of this because otherwise it's gonna be a mess. So anyhow, a last minute current event update. Here, let me write this down. That I came across right before I started um, this this radio broadcast, or this broadcast, I should say. Um, it was they a Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader uh, Ginsburg just died. I don't know. I didn't get a chance if it was today or yesterday. I was probably today is my guess. She was 87 years old. So what I want to do is just go ahead and take a moment to honor her and celebrate her transitioning into her next realm, whatever that may be for her, and then we'll get started with the rest of the topics that I have for you. So just a minute. I want to just take a minute, and then we'll be back. And we're back. So I apologize because I put this out here, and it's been a while since I've done any radio shows. Um, but I, um, I don't know if YouTube is a good platform to do interviews and all these updates and so forth. But I'm going to work with it and see what happens. So anyhow, I want to go on to talk. Well, I want to talk about Breanna Taylor. Um, earlier I had mentioned that somebody said, people were still hostile about her not being honored and gotten justice for. And I said something like, you know, the people that involved in murdering her, and I think it's a safe phrase or word to use. I think it was. I don't know all the details behind it, but I think probably the correct phraseology to use. But anyhow, they did this week. They came up and they granted her mother, what was her mother's name here? I think I wrote it down. Timeout. Tamika Palmer and civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump out of Louisville, Kentucky. Her mother received a $12 million settlement, but the thing was that not only did this include a settlement, but this also included um, police reform. So part of the program was that there had to be part of the clause, part of the contract agreement was that there has to be, and I don't know that they've already started or not, but they had to come up with some kind of police reform there in the Kentucky area, to so that this kind of thing doesn't happen anymore. So and you all people can always wish for the best, but who knows how much more of this crap we'll have to go through. I don't know, but that's besides the point. So anyhow, again, the karma is probably not over with for this whole situation. And again, I've told people before, it doesn't matter what part of the universe you're from. Um, no one in this universe, in any of the universes, can escape or will escape karma ever. I don't care who you are, how sly or slick you think you are. No one will ever escape karma one way or another, period. So it's like that. What goes around comes around, and it doesn't matter if it's this lifetime or some other lifetime. It could be the next lifetime or even the next or the next. But and it could be bad karma or it could be good karma. I believe that's the best way to put it, because when you look at the universe, when God looks at you or um, assesses you, I don't know if that's even a good correct, but anyhow, God doesn't take sides, good, bad, or indifferent, right? We're all in this together. So the bad people got to do their jobs so that we can go through change. Because if we didn't have them around, everything would be the same and would be boring or whatever. So that nothing would be changed. Everything would always be the same. So there always has to be the negative, so that positive can move forward or move. Period. So it's like that. So and not that I promote the negative or the evilness or darkness, if you want to call it that. I put I say that with tongue in cheek, because I just saying that alone promotes their spirit, their being, their actions, words, and deeds, just by saying dark forces or evilness or whatever. So I say that with tongue in cheek, not to promote that, but just as an example of how the life works. So anyhow, Breanna, I don't know if that's enough money for Breanna's mom, but I'm assuming it is, and I hope that she'll uh, use that money for good, healthy purposes, whatever that may be. So now, the next thing I want to talk about is the stimulus check. Um, I have a sense that probably um, um, Trump. I don't know if he's going to get that passed, but because right now, um, the Republican senators, it's my understanding that they're the ones that are holding up the the line, right? So they don't give a crap, because they're they've got plenty of money, they're nice and comfortable, But do they give a shit about anybody else or anybody else? No, they're just all about me, right? So again, what goes around will come around sooner or later. They are not oblivious or how would you say, they are not I don't know, what's the word I want to use, untouchable maybe, but no matter what, they're still gonna have to deal with their karma one way or another. So it doesn't matter if they're if they die, and they're still going to incur their karma next lifetime or the next lifetime or whatever. Sooner or later, they're going to incur their karma one way or another. So they can hold up the line all they want. Not my preference, but $1.5 trillion is enough. I don't see any reason why they can't move forward, and with $1.5 trillion, at least it's better than nothing, right? And it's better than holding up the line. There's a lot of people suffering right now. They're having a hard time. They're homeless. Some of these people they're out of jobs, and they've worked, 5, 10, 15, 20 years or whatever, and now they're out of a job. And now and some of these people are even living on the streets. As and not to mention that some of these people are involved with the fires and the hurricanes that are coming through, and that makes it even worse for these people. They are out of homes because the fires, because the hurricanes, whatever, the flooding, and now they don't even have enough money to stand on. So luckily, there's a lot of people, a lot of groups that are providing services for those type of people anyhow. But it's not the best circumstance for these people, and I'm sure that they wish they could be in a better setup. So anyhow, but then again, who knows? Maybe that's their karma too. I don't know. It just works all the way around, right? What goes around comes around. So again, President Donald Trump, and to all of you Republican senators, and maybe even the Republican or the Democratic senators too. I don't know. Maybe they have a hand in holding up the line too. Who knows? But if you want to just think about yourself, just go for it. But I promise you, and I don't make promises, very rarely, you'll feel your actions, words, and deeds one way or another. Sooner or later, I promise you, you will. And you're probably not going to like it. So you're forewarned. So anyhow, and again, there's a lot of wildfires and hurricanes going on. Put out some prayers, healing, love, light, support, any support you can for these people that are fighting the fires, and the first responders that are working with the hurricanes, and the people that are being affected by this. Really, especially those heavily affected by this. So just take a minute, take a second, send out some good vibes to these people, and I guarantee you they'll be in a much better shape tomorrow if you do this today. It's like that. And there was an article about gangs protecting property at some of these wildfire sites, and I believe the sheriff's department, as long as they're in right action, right conduct, right relationship, what is your problem with accepting help from people, from your local citizen, from your local community? So the people can do citizens arrest. That's what that law is there for, because anybody can do a citizen's arrest. In fact, that's what law enforcement basically does, is a citizen arrest. And then there's other technicalities and other legalities beyond that, but it starts out with a citizen's arrest. That's all law enforcement is doing, is a citizen's arrest, and then there's additional legal actions that take place after that. So as long as these gang members, you know, maybe they'll become cops, and if they really want to do this the right way, then maybe they can go on and get a security license, a license to be a security guard, and maybe that might be something for them to work with. I don't know, but it at the very basic um, understanding of this, they can make a citizen's arrest if need be, and if somebody's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, or they're stealing stuff or whatever, they can hold that person. And again, it did mention in an article that they shouldn't pull a gun on these people if they're doing that, which I believe they were saying is illegal, especially if you don't have a license for that gun. But that's besides the point. So anyhow, but they can make a citizen's arrest, if which is legal, if they go about it in a good, healthy way. And I'm not discouraging. I'm not saying that these people need to be discouraged, these gang members, but they also need to be follow protocol, in terms of, because right now these cops, they need all the help they can get to help support their communities. I don't know if they're understaffed or not. I have the feeling that several communities are, but that's besides the point. So anyhow, these gangs, assumably they're just wanting to be supportive of all the crap that's going on out there. And so why would you belittle or thwart somebody that's trying to help you, which is completely stupid? That's just PTSD. And I don't know how many of these cops have PTSD, but I guarantee you 100%, 100%, a lot of them do. A lot of them do. And they either need to get help, get treatment, get therapy, or get out of there. They don't need to be serving, in that capacity at all. They need to get the hell out of Dodge and go find another job. Period. So anyhow, now before I start to review um, movies and documentaries, um, I do want to say, let me see. Let's go like this, and this goes along with some of the stuff, the Paris Hilton documentary that I'm going to go ahead and talk about here in a little bit. But virtual schools, and Paris Hilton went through a lot of drama and trauma and abuse, along with other people at this school. I think it was in Utah. I can't remember. Called, um, here, I'll tell you what it was called. Oh, and I do want to give a shout out to all those. There's an article about the hillbillies in Oregon that were helping the firefighters to curb the fire damage. They were, I don't know, they were taking some tractors or something, and basically helping to um, take the some of the wood that's in the fire's way out of the way. I don't know exactly all they were doing, but they did an article about them, and they were just, I believe there's like, what, 1,100, 1,200, 1,400 of these people, and they were just out there, helping themselves. Just, and I don't know that they how much they know about um, working, dealing with fires, but they seem to be doing a good job, and I want to throw out a shout out to those people. So, um, But anyhow, the school. Let me see. The school was called. Um, oh, come on! I know I had it there somewhere. Anyhow, there was a school that they were sent to. Paris Hilton and all these other people were sent to, and literally they were abusing her uh, and other people. Um, and they ended up having there was a documentary called the way no the real story of Paris Hilton documentary or something like that. But anyhow, this movie was incredibly vulnerable, or really showed a vulnerable side to Paris Hilton in terms of how she grew up and the things she went through. And she wasn't the nicest person in the world growing up, from what I understand and see. But RGB was just a clump of cells. I don't know what RBG is. I have no idea what you're talking about, Santa Claus. But Christmas is not right now. It's not for a little while. So anyhow, um, and if you want to explain yourself, that would be helpful. But anyhow, thanks for stopping by. Um, so anyhow, this documentary just came out a few days ago with Paris Hilton, and it was really well done. I mean, they really showed some sides of her that you probably would just have your mouth open because it's so amazing. Like, wow, really? She had to go through all that stuff. But anyhow, so Paris Hilton and some other people, kids, teenagers, went through all this stuff at this boarding school that they were sent to, and literally, they're starting a whole um, revolt against this school. I want to say Canyon School, but Provo. I think it was called Provo Canyon School or something like that. I believe out in Utah. But anyhow, you know, there's a line that's drawn in terms of dealing with abusive kids as well. It goes both ways, and there are boundaries. And I believe, from what I understand, from what I see in this documentary, they were crossing that line, and it wasn't cool at all. So anyhow, they're starting this whole revolt. I want to say revolution, but it's not. I guess it's kind of a revolution, but anyhow, um, it traumatized these girls, and probably traumatized a lot of other people as well, a lot of other kids, a lot of other teenagers. And so um, anyhow, that was the main climax of this documentary. And so so with this in mind, like, I gotta ask, really, do we want to send our kids back to school? you know One of the best things that parents can do is spend time and hug their kids, and work, and just be there with their kids and be supportive. And some of the best way to do that is spend lots of time with those kids, and that's how you really get to know your kid, right? Duh, it doesn't take a rocket science or genius to figure that out. So, you know a lot of people, and a lot of parents have, and even teachers maybe, have admitted the same thing. They've gotten to spend a lot of time with their kids, and that's probably one of the healthiest things you can do, is spend time with your kids. So, people are complaining about going back to school, not getting to go back to school maybe, but there is a lot of teachers that aren't very happy about it because they don't want to be caught up in all that virus crap, right? So, so, and it's funny because I years ago, when I took a class over at Northern Arizona University, and I may have already told you about this, but anyhow, I graduated there with a degree in master in educational leadership, and also in psychology, and also in theater. So, and the psychology and theater was at Texas Christian University, and then the other one was here at Northern Arizona University. So anyhow, when I graduated, I took another class, two classes afterwards. One of them was called Curriculum Design for the Internet, and I literally designed a classroom so that not one, just one a setup so that there could be different classes that you can go to um, from space or wherever, a virtual classroom. And I, um, I set it up so that, if you're in, if you're living in space, you're not going to say, "Hey, mom, I'm going to go to my Harvard classroom, my Harvard class. I'll see you later. Bye." Right? So you're not going to be able to travel all the way over there and back in one day, or in an hour or so, or whatever. So anyhow, I designed this so that people can go to school from space. And it was funny because later on I found out that the program was funded through NASA, by NASA, and they implemented the whole program um, at Northern Arizona University. So, and of course, they never give me any credit for it. And then I went I went to the school, and I looked at the classroom, and sure enough, it was the exact same design I put out, and except different colors, different fonts, whatever. But everything else was the same, exact same program or design I created for this. So now I one of my neighbors here says they're not, they're, and even now they're still going to school via virtual classroom. And I asked her, well, is this classroom like a Microsoft Word spread type of classroom? Yeah. She goes, yeah. You can pick the class you're going to, and you log in, and then everything's up and going. And your teachers there, the students are there, and whatever else. So even now, years after years uh, of having created this, it's the design that I created was still there, it's still being used. So, and it's being used more than ever now, and maybe it's being used by other schools. I don't know, but that's not the first time I've created something and that it's been used. And again, they didn't give me any credit, but they took me seriously enough that they implemented it. Anyhow, I didn't have, and nor do I have now, the means and the funding to do something like that. Anyhow, so in a way, it's a compliment, but I think it's kind of rude and unprofessional that they didn't give me any credit. And that's not the only time that's happened. At another school I went to, I took a computer class, and there I there are cards when in term, and we're talking about psychic development or psychic perception. I create, when you test people for psychic ability, you use cards. There's a certain type of cards that you use, and you test their ability. You test their abilities to pick up the information, and also to teleport it, or telecommunicate it to the 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 person that's giving you the test, and so forth. So anyhow, I took a computer class at the school, and we had to do an assignment. We had to do some kind of a assignment. I can't remember, but anyhow, I said to the teacher, I said, I want to design this program that tests, instead of using regular physical cards, you do it through a computer. I said, I wanted to do this, this, and this. And he said, okay. So he went and created the program, that exact same program that I wanted. And boom, all of a sudden we have a virtual card for psychic ability and for testing psychic ability. And the thing is that was even better because when you use regular physical cards, and if you're testing somebody, that the person that's taking the test, they can probably or possibly guess the next card because they see it in their mind, right? So they don't have to. They don't. The guy the person that's testing them doesn't even have to telecommunicate that card to the person taking the test, because they already know, because they already see that card in their mind. So it may seem like telecommunication, but it's not. What's it called? Um, remote viewing, a form of remote viewing. So anyhow, so it's not really testing their abilities for telecommunications necessarily. It may be testing their ability for remote viewing instead, or I can't remember the psychic ability, but anyhow, it has to do with visual. But anyhow, um, I don't know what that guy ever did with that program, but the teacher happened to be the head of the department, the computer department, and he invited me to major in education or computers for education or something like that, in their department. And he was the head again. He was the head of the department, and he invited me to uh, to major in that. And I said, "Sorry, dude, but I'm already out of here. As soon as this semester is over, I already had plans to relocate back to California. I think I was going back to California at the time. So anyhow, and I said, I can't help you there, but thanks for the invite. So, and I'm sure they would have given me scholarships and everything I needed to make that happen, but it just wasn't in the works for me. So anyhow, virtual school. And maybe that's what these people are saying, is that virtual school is going to be the way of life from now on. I'm not sure to what extent, but as we move forward as a race, and living in space in the next few years to come, um, virtual school is going to be a way of life, much more than it has been ever. So we'll see. I don't know what this is, and especially with all the rampant shootings that have been taking place now, the virus. So that may be the norm, uh, and maybe there may be few schools that will physically meet, classrooms that will actually physically meet, and maybe that might be the rarity instead. So I don't know. This may be a way of life for people. So may as well sit back and enjoy the ride, right? Um, so with that in mind, I also want to talk about, and one of the things that's been happening with all of this, pandemic, is that cyber fraud has been becoming a huge factor, these days. Um, I have noticed that companies are really, um, what's it called? They're really manipulating people in an unhealthy, negative way, in a bullshit way. And even today, I seen some masks that I wanted to order, so I ordered them, and I went to the last step, and they wanted, and this has to do with upselling. Um, there's a guy by the name of Russell Brunson who has a company called ClickFunnels, and that's what they preach and teach, is to upsell people so you can make extra money, right? So they tried to upsell me, um, and I didn't want the upsell. So I said, and it said no thanks. Number one, it said no thanks in a really gray letter, so you can barely even see the line. Again, with somebody with eyesight problems may even miss it and go and upgrade because there's no other choice otherwise, right? But if you look below it, it says no thanks, I don't want the upgrade. So I selected that link, and it still charged me, which was a line of shit. And so for it charged me for the upsell. I said, and so and not only that, but instead of looking at your final sell and then clicking submit, it went straight to sell and it sold me the item instead. So, which is a line of shit. That's complete manipulation. And another company did the same thing. I went to buy some supplements. I went to get they said if you just pay for the shipping costs, which was like, I don't know, $7 or whatever, they'll send you a free bottle of the supplement, right? And so I went there, and then it said there was a thing where it said you can buy three of them, or actually it said you can buy one of the one times three for nine or for $10 each. So I thought, I want to buy another one, but I don't want to buy all three of them. So I went and clicked uh, um, the button to see about what the cost would be if I wanted to just buy another extra one, but it didn't. It again, it so went straight to the cell, charged my debit card, and boom, I was paying for all these three extra bottles, which I didn't want. So again, you really want to be cautious right now. These people, these companies are bullshitting people, and to buying extra stuff. And probably a lot of people will buy the extra gut, and they'll go, instead of dealing with the bullshit of it all, they'll just say, okay, just do the sale, and they won't do anything about it. And so the company gets extra cash for bullshitting people. So that's not cool at all. It's unprofessional. It's manipulation. It's fraud, in a sense of speaking, and it's perjury, and false trade practices. Not cool at all. So when you go to make purchases online right now, I'd be very careful, because a lot of companies are really bullshitting people. And then even one other company, I think I talked about this last time or the time before last, Pearl Feet, which sells shoes. Come to find out that this company is located in England, and then the parent company is located in China. So they're selling these shoes through England and then to you, and if you decide, oh, these shoes don't fit or I don't like them, you can't send them back and get a refund. So and there's a lot of companies overseas that they're pulling this shit. So my advice is to not order anything overseas. In fact, I ordered some shirts from a company, some Hawaiian shirts, and I believe, I don't know 100%, but I believe that these shirts are women's shirts instead of men's, or both. So naturally, the shirts didn't fit me because they were too small, and so I ordered another shirt because I really liked the design, and then I didn't try on the shirts till after I ordered that shirt. So I put one on and then figured this out, and then I said, hell no. So in fact, today I went. I emailed these people like 3 days after I ordered the shirt, and I said, hey, I don't want the shirt, cancel it. And they go, well, we've already sent it, so we already sent it. So I said, and I'm almost 100% sure they didn't, because if they had sent it, they would have sent me some kind of notice that they sent the shirt. So they hadn't sent me in anything yet. So I know they're bullshitting me, and so are trying to bullshit me. So I said, well, I want a refund, and I want to cancel this order. And they go, it's too late. Yeah, again, and there's a lot of companies right now that are hard up from cash, so they're pulling all this shit. So I would be very careful about ordering anything online. Again, man, a skunk caught a fart. What the hell? So anyhow, um, today I went to the post office, and sure enough, the shirt was there, but I sent it back. So usually, if you send somebody something back, and it's a situation like this, you want to get some kind of receipt, a refusal or return receipt, and so that in case they pull any bullshit afterwards, then you have that for available. The post office didn't want to give me a receipt for that for some reason or another, so she wrote refused or rejected or something like that on the package. And so what I did is I went and took a picture of that with the refused on there, so that way I have something for my records in case they try to pull some kind of bullshit. So at the very least, you're going to want to get a picture of you refusing, right? Having written refused on the package, and then take a picture. That way you have something proof that you've sent that back. So anyhow, now another thing that's going on, and I don't know all the stuff that's going on with cyber fraud. I'm just giving you a few things. But one of the things that I figured out about a week ago, maybe, I found out that somebody from the Ukraine was trying to get into my Instagram account. So, and this is not the only time that this has happened. I believe that, and I'm not 100% about this, but if I was you, I'd be checking your passwords and checking to see if somebody's trying to get into your Facebook, your Instagram, your email, or whatever. But I would be changing your passwords regularly, every several months, every 6 months, every year, or whatever. But at least every year minimum. And I don't know about they have some programs where they're some app or whatever remembers all your passwords, and I don't know that I would even trust those, because now some company has all your passwords. So to me, I don't think I'd trust that either. So again, and I don't know if the Russians are and the Russian mob or whatever is trying to overload or take over the world or whatever, but I would be very cautious in terms of how how you deal with your passwords. And even when I go to put in my password, I put it so you can't see the password when I'm putting it in, because you can never tell when people are getting into your computer, into your phone, and believe you me, people can do it. And just like the webcam, I've talked to this about this before. I told a girlfriend of mine several years ago. I said, cover your webcam when you're not using it, because people can see you through it. And I didn't have any confirmation about that, but I just knew it. And sure enough, about 2 or 3 years later, I was here at the Barnes and Nobles, and my light came on onto my on with my computer, and so somebody was looking at me through my own computer. So, and I don't know who it was, but immediately I covered it, and that was the last of that. And a few months ago, my sister said her computer was coming on. Somebody was turning it on, or she didn't know if it was a ghost or something. But somebody, even if your computer is turned off, people can still turn your computer on and go through your computer. when you're not awake, when you're not there, or whatever. So my advice is to turn off the internet anytime, even when I go to the bathroom. I turn off the internet and I go to the bathroom and I come back. And when I go to bed, I turn off the internet, and I don't turn it on until I'm ready to use the computer again. So if I was you, I would strongly suggest to turn off, because if they can't get onto if they're not on the internet, they can't get into your computer at all. Period. So it's like that. Um, I don't know what other fraud stuff is going on out there, but um, be wise. And if anything else, go and Google that. Maybe there's time out. Maybe there's some more information. There probably is. Not no maybe about it. There's probably much more information about all that. Um, so if I was you, I would look it up and check it out and see what's happening. Because otherwise, it could cost you thousands of dollars. I don't know. So now, with that in mind, I also found out today, I believe, that they're planning on disabling TikTok in the United States. I'm assuming that they're saying you won't be able to use TikTok after this Sunday. So if you got stuff on there that you want to save, um, any information that you want to save, I would go do that tonight or tomorrow, because as of Sunday, they're planning on blocking TikTok from being usable in the United States. It's my understanding. Now, I, you know, you got to, you say when something like that happens, well, you go, well, that's a freedom of speech. They don't have the right to do that. So, which is bullshit. But apparently the owners of TikTok live in China, or from China. The company is located in China. So it's a very thin borderline concerning this issue, this situation. Um, and it could present conspiracy, it could present all sabotage, all kinds of stuff, because it's the company is the owner is out of China. And I don't blame the government for that, but because in a sense of speaking, it's a protective safety measure that they're taking. I don't know how um, how overboard that is, because they really haven't provided any evidence or any information that suggests that their TikTok is being used to conspire against the United States. I haven't seen any information about that. So in that sense, I have to say again, it's a very thin line for that, for the border for that. So whether they're doing the right thing or not, um, is not 100% accurate, but better to be safe than sorry. Maybe that's a good phrase to use, because if in fact that action is being taken to protect Americans, then that's probably the right action anyhow. But if it's just to be abusive and a bully and a asshole, well, that's a whole different ballgame. So and again, it's a very thin line. Um, so now, what time is it? Well, how long have I been going on this? 50 minutes, really. Um, well, I tell you what. Oh well, I want to talk about one other documentary, The Way I See It, with Pete Souza. Talking about Pete Souza. Wow, I believe that documentary came out today. It was released today, and I can't remember the company, but anyhow, it was through. Phoenix Film Festival here in Arizona. They put this forward, some other company, to screen movies, and this was the first one that I've screened, and wow, I was impressed. This was like the most amazing, awesome uh, documentary I've ever encountered. Uh, this guy Pete Souza was the staff photographer for the main staff photographer for President Reagan and also for Barack Obama, and it shows Barack Obama in some photos that are just out of this world, just amazing. You would never think about any of this stuff. It was just really just told some major amazing stories behind Barack Obama, and just an impressive documentary. And not I'm not just saying that because I used to be a photographer and a videographer too, but anybody that's got any common sense um, would know that was an amazing documentary. So you can probably Google it on Netflix, or I mean on YouTube. The Paris Hilton documentary has been released on YouTube, which you can go check out. And I don't know if the way I see it is also on YouTube, but you can probably find it and check it out. I'll probably see if I can go ahead and find the link or whatever for that and put it in here. And I'll put the Paris Hilton documentary link in here as well, and so you can go check it out. So now, what I usually do is I do movie reviews after this, but I decided that I'm gonna go ahead and do the reviews, the movie reviews on a separate video instead. So if you have any questions about any of this, or you want to bring up something, text me, call me, whatever, and we'll go from there. So um, email me if you want. My information is all on my website, spiritualimageproductions.com, spiritualimageproductions.com. So I don't know what else there is to talk about in terms of current events. And I believe, I don't know that there's hurricanes are still out there. Are they before I was gonna do this broadcast a few days ago, but since then, tropical depression Renee, tropical storms Teddy and Vicky, and hurricanes Sally and Paulette have already gone through. Probably most of them or all of them. I don't know. So, but it doesn't hurt. If anything else, Google it. Google hurricanes and see if there's more out there. And again, if you have time to put out some prayers, love, light, healing, whatever, to these people that are in the way of these storms, these hurricanes, whatever, um, don't hesitate to do so. Again, if you want to incur and create some good karma for yourself, and I'm not saying do this for the karma, but that's a good way to do that. So I want to thank you for stopping by. Have a goddess week. Be the love that you are, always have been, and always will be. Aloha.